Greetings and welcome. How are we all feeling at the moment? Today's topic is about the destructive versus the constructive approach. And many of us take the destructive approach because it's easier to self-destruct. It's easier to be angry at yourself. It's easier to fall into self-loathing. And we often self-destruct because we feel we are not worthy. We feel that our life is a mess, our mind is a mess. We feel like we are a mess. And we don't realize how we need to construct our lives. But instead of constructing, building up, shaping and sculpting, we break ourselves down further and further and further. And that's why the constructive approach is a lot more beneficial and is extremely important for your own mental well-being. The destructive approach is what it says. It's just going to cause you to decline and to deteriorate. Be your own best friend. Be there for yourself. Don't be against yourself. Be there. Be your own best friend, your cheerleader, your rooting team. Be there for yourself and stop making yourself the enemy. Stop fighting against yourself. Stop self-destructing and focus on actually becoming your best ally, because you can be your best ally, the best person you can have in your life if you just focus on things in a more constructive way. Remember, destruction comes from destructive thoughts. When your thinking is very negative, very toxic, very unhealthy, very cyclical, and also destruction comes from your emotions as well, how you feel and how you respond to how you feel, how you react out of emotion. And destruction also comes from habits, because we can have very unhealthy, very destructive habits that have a huge impact on our lives and our lifestyles, and that can generally make us very unhealthy and affect our overall well-being. And destruction, funny enough, also comes from your perspectives, how you internalize your world, how you view things, how you project your internal world onto your external world. And destruction comes from those main components: is your thoughts, your emotions, your habits, and your perspectives. Those four components. If you have any destructive qualities in any of those four components, you may struggle with a destructive mindset. As I said, stop self-destructing. You are only going to cause your mental state to decline and to deteriorate to a point that it becomes unsalvageable. You can choose to build yourself up. You can choose to shape yourself from the difficulties of life. You don't have to self-destruct. You don't have to bring yourself down. You don't have to work against yourself. Stop self-destructing, because you are worth more than that. And being constructive is practicing self-love by doing things that are good for you, because you respect yourself, you have that integrity, you have that self-worth, and that helps you build your self-esteem and your self-image so you can redefine yourself. When you are focusing on a healthier approach, healthier habits, healthier perspectives, you are practicing self-love, because you know you deserve good things in your life, you deserve better in your life, you are worthy of that. And that's why the constructive approach is so important, especially for someone who struggles with self-destructive thoughts, self-destructive behaviors, and self-destructive emotions. Construct yourself. By doing that, you are showing yourself self-love, self-respect, and self-care. And the sad thing is, we tend to self-destruct when we cannot manage, when we are not coping very well, when we cannot manage the way we're thinking, when our emotions are very erratic and we struggle to stabilize ourselves and we feel very all over the place, and I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm angry, I'm depressed, I'm worried, I'm anxious, I'm stressed, and all of these things become so overwhelming that you self-destruct because you cannot physically manage the things that are going on in your mind. And that's what can make it difficult to self-regulate. And when we can't self-regulate, when we can't practice our own autonomy, take accountability, manage the way we act, respond, feel, think, then we do tend to start self-destructing and becoming less and less of the person that we want to be. Remember, it's important that you monitor your emotions and their intensities. It's not just about feeling angry, it's about feeling the degree of anger and being able to not just manage the anger but also the degree of it. Because once you start managing what you're feeling, your emotions, and you start regulating them a bit better, you start stabilizing them, then you will find that the intensity of the emotions is also a little bit more manageable, because destruction does come in emotion and emotional reactions. That's why it's important that we learn to manage the quality of the emotion, the intensity, the volatility, the severity of the emotion, and not just focus on the emotion itself. And that's how you can regulate your emotions better. And that's why it's important to focus on self-regulation, which is self-management. Being able to be autonomous, which means being your own person, being in control of your decisions, yourself, your reactions, your emotions, and your thoughts, and to be able to decide how to respond or react according to what you're feeling and what you're thinking. So self-regulation is incredibly, incredibly important for you to be able to be seen as a less unpredictable person, so you are a little bit more trustworthy, a little bit more calmer in social situations, and that when something does feel off, that you're able to manage it and not just immediately emotionally blow up and completely lose all control or all autonomy that you have over yourself. And then set goals, because goals are what helps you grow. Goals are what makes up a grander, bigger vision, and this gives us purpose, and this makes us want to construct ourselves and makes us want to destruct less. And focus on consistency. Doing good things for yourself every day that's good for your health, good for your self-care, good for your well-being, and focus on your little successes, because we self-destruct when we see we are not capable of anything, or we're stupid, or we don't know what we're doing, or we can't do anything right. Then we start to self-destruct. But when you start focusing on the little progresses, the little things that you are getting right, then you start to feel like you have more purpose, and then you start to think, okay, well, maybe I am worthy, maybe I can do more than I thought. Stop self-loathing. There is no reason to loathe yourself. Absolutely no reason. If you don't like the person who you are, do some self-introspection and change what you don't like, because it's your mind, it's your body, it's your life. You can decide what needs to change. So stop falling into this pattern of I hate myself, because then you're just gonna hate yourself more. Change how you internalize your experiences. Change what meaning you create from your experiences. Change what you think about yourself, because that could also be very destructive as well. and shift your internal world from pessimistic to optimistic. Remember, we must always seek to construct instead of destruct. And self-destruction is self-hatred, self-loathing, and doesn't serve you in any way. You are worth more. Focus on the constructive approach, building yourself, shaping yourself, and sculpting into that person that you want to be. So remember, you are unique and valuable. Take care of that stunning person. Stay strong wherever you're from. You are worthy.